55. A compact car gets 37.5 miles per gallon on the highway. That's pretty good. If gasoline contains 84.2% carbon by mass and has a density of 0.8205 grams per milliliters, determine the mass of carbon dioxide produced during a 500-mile trip. And then they tell us a nice little conversion factor that there's 3.785 liters per gallon. And when they say per gallon, they mean per 1 gallon. Okay. So, a lot of numbers here. We have to figure out how to put the pieces together. That's all that these word problems are. Okay? So, let's see. They told us that a compact car gets 35 miles per gallon, and they want to know the mass of the carbon dioxide produced during a 500-mile trip. Now, when we're talking about gallons, we're basically talking about gallons of gasoline, right? That's what you fuel your car in this case, right? Per gallon, per gasoline. It's not electric. So the first thing is that maybe what we can do is we can see how many gallons this person driving this compact car used. So this question, I think, since there's a lot going on here, I'm going to number it in steps. So the first thing that we're going to have to figure out, right, is just see how many gallons were used. Okay. So to answer this question, we're going to take the 500 miles that they drove, and we're going to talk about it being 37 miles per gallon. So let's see. It was a 500-mile trip. So I'm going to put 500 miles here. Now, I don't want the unit mile. I want to convert it into gallons. So I'm going to multiply by a ratio, right? And we've been doing this a lot. Put the units first and then come back and fill the numbers in. I don't want the unit miles, so that goes on the opposite side. Miles on the bottom. And I want to know how many gallons there are, so gallons go up on the top. Okay, now I need a number, a conversion factor, in this example that tells me how many gallons per how many miles. Well, that's it. This information right here, right? They tell us that this compact car gets 37.5 miles per gallon. And per how many gallons? It's per 1 gallon. So the 37.5 miles, well, the 37.5 goes with the miles per 1 gallon. The 1 goes with the gallon. So I'm going to come over here, and the 37.5 miles goes on the bottom, right? That goes with the miles. And then per 1 gallon. Now everything is accounted for here, so I could cancel out my miles. And now I'm going to be able to find out how many gallons were used. So I have 500 divided by 37.5, and that's 13. So now we know that this whole entire trip cost this car 13.33 gallons. Now, gallons of what? We kind of said it earlier, right? It's gallons of gasoline. Okay. So first part done. I'll guess I'll highlight this because we're going to come back to this answer. Now, let's keep moving forward. They say that the gasoline contains 84.2% carbon by mass. Okay, so in previous chapters, we went over a percent mass formula, and that percent mass formula is down here. So that's going to be the second thing that we're going to be going over, okay? So in this case, we have to somehow link the gasoline that we're at now to carbon dioxide. The missing link is the carbon, right? I could make an equation with carbon and carbon dioxide. I can't make a balanced equation with gasoline and carbon dioxide because I don't know what gas they used. Well, they technically used octane, but it's not a specific direct compound because there's like different numbers, 85, 87. So we have to somehow get to carbon. But this percent mass formula will get us there. So that's number 2. I now have to use the percent mass formula to get to grams of carbon. So I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to just cater it to what I need, right? The whole thing, the whole solution is gasoline, right? Remember, percent is just part divided by whole. If we're doing percent by mass, it's, solute over solute solution, but just think of it as part over whole. So the whole would be the gasoline. And the part, they're telling us that it's, 84.2% carbon. So carbon is going up on the top. The mass is going to be in grams. Now, if I'm going to use this number, right, I have to have a gram value. But what do we have? We have gallons. So there's actually a little step in between these two. So maybe I can put this down here. And I'll call this 2A. Before we even do that, we have to convert the 13.33 gallons into, what do you think, guys? If it's a mass, it has to be in grams. How do we do that? Well, they told us a conversion between gallons and liters. And then from there, we can go to grams by using the density. So a lot of things that are coming back, a lot of things that we learned from before are coming back. So let's get started. 13.33 gallons, right? I don't want this unit anymore. I'm going to multiply it and put it by a ratio. Gallons go on the bottom. And I look and I see, okay, the conversion that they gave me was liters and galleon. Did I just say galleon? Sorry, I've been reading Harry Potter for the 50th time. So, sorry. Put it in the comments if you guys are a fan of Harry Potter. Yeah, total fan. So, we're doing gallons. And then liters go up on top. The number that they gave us was 3.75. 3.785 to every 1 gal. I was going to say galleon again. Oh my goodness. Sorry if I keep saying galleons. It's just going to happen. Cancel out gallons. And now, find out how many liters there are. 13.33 times 3.785. So I get 50.45. Now I'm in liters. But I still need to get it into mass. So enter the density formula. So actually, where is this going to go? This is now going to go over here. Okay. So enter the density formula, right? D equals M over V. They gave us a density. We have a volume, so we can solve for a mass. So if I just rearrange this formula, it would be mass equals density times volume. But before you put in your numbers, make sure that you have the right units. For density, I need to input a milliliter to get out a gram, right? But here I have liters. So I got to convert this into milliliters. Oh my goodness, this question, right? How do I go from liters to mils? Yeah, you multiply by 1,000. And now I have 540, 1, 2, 3. So I got 50,450 milliliters. That's the number that's going to go here with my density. So I checked my units. That means I don't really have to put in my units when I'm doing my math. And now my volume is 50,450. So let's figure out what the actual mass is still of the gasoline, guys. So 0.8205 times 50,450. I'm going to put this number into scientific notation. 4.139 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's now grams of the gasoline. Okay. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Now we have to take this number, and we finally have it in grams. That's going to be this number, right? We're still going to use this formula to finally get the mass of the carbon by using this percent mass formula. They told me that I'm at 84.2%, right? So that's going to go here. I just found out that mass of gasoline. This is standard, and I'm going to solve for the carbon. So 84, and actually, you know what? I'm going to say this is number 3. So I'm going to say 84.2 equals X over, we'll do the times 100, and then it's the 4.139 times 10 to the 4th. So maybe let me, okay, we got it, guys, right? So first thing I'll do is I'll, get rid of the 100, cancel that out. So this is now 0.842 equals X over the 4.139 times 10 to the 4th. Cross multiply, and now this is going to tell me how many grams of carbon I have. So 0.842 times 4.139 times 10 to the 4th. I'm also going to put this number in scientific notation, 3.485 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's officially now grams of carbon. Okay. Jeez. But don't worry, guys, we're not there yet. because the question says determine the mass of carbon dioxide. All of this math that we just did was to find out the starting amount of carbon from the gasoline. Now I have to make that relationship and the balanced equation to go from carbon to carbon dioxide, right? So pause the video if you need to, because this math is going bye-bye, yeah? I just need more room. So I'm going to basically get rid of everything except for the answer. I know, isn't it sad? Hold on. You know what, I might just, it's so sad. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hi. Oh, breaks my heart. So right now I'm just going to get a clean slate. All right. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to throw it up here, right? Now somehow we have to go from this amount of grams of carbon to the mass of carbon dioxide. So grams of CO2. Now we're back in stoichiometry land, right? We're going from one compound to another, right? We can only do that through a balanced equation. This is, gasoline, right? And we're talking about combusting, right? Burning of fuel, combustion. So this is just our standard combustion equation in which carbon, because it's just a C, is coming in contact with the air to produce CO2. I take a step back and I see, just to make sure that this equation is balanced, and it is balanced, so I can proceed forward. I am starting off with 3.485 times 10 to the 4th grams of carbon, and I have to find out how many grams of the carbon dioxide I need. This is the flow diagram of stoichiometry, which we've seen many times before, and it's this one, right? So I'm just going to cater it to what we have here, it's a grams to moles to grams. This is what we're starting with. So I'm going to strip away my A's, right? That just means the starting compound or element. In this case, it's just carbon. And I'm going to start with 3.485 times 10 to the fourth. And the compound that I want to go to, which is generically labeled as B, is CO2. Okay. So, oh boy. Well, we'll get that G back. Okay. So start with what you're given. 3.485 times 10 to the fourth. And this is grams of C. I'll just say G of C. We need to convert to ratios. So I'm going to multiply, right, with my ratio. The unit that I don't want, which is grams, so that goes on the bottom. And I want to go to moles first. So moles goes up on the top. This is a mole to gram conversion of the same element. So that's using the periodic table. If you're using the periodic table, you always have 1 mole of the compound. And the mass of, in this case, carbon, goes right where the grams are. So on my periodic table, it says that each carbon is 12.1 grams. Now I cancel out those units. But I need to convert to carbon dioxide, so I times by a ratio again. I don't want moles of C anymore. That goes on the bottom. And I want moles of carbon dioxide. Well, this is now a mole-to-mole conversion of different compounds and elements. So that's the balanced equation, right? In my balanced equation, all I got to do is look at the coefficients. But I saw that there was 1 carbon for every 1 carbon dioxide. So 1's all around. 1 mole of C for every 1 mole of CO2 because both of them had a 1 in their balanced equation for the coefficients. This cancels out. We're almost there. We want to get to grams. So times by the last ratio, mole of CO2 on the bottom, gram of CO2 up on top. It's a gram to mole conversion of the same compound. That's the periodic table. And if you're using the periodic table, remember you have 1 mole. So wherever the word mole is, you put a 1 there. The mass number goes with the grams. So in this case now you have 1 carbon and 2 oxygens for carbon dioxide. So let's find out what that mass is. 44.01. And now I can cancel out the units. And now I'm finally at my answer. Determine the mass of the carbon dioxide produced during this trip. So I have 3.485 times 10 to the fourth divided by 12.01 and then multiplied by 44.01. And I get a big number. Looks like I need 3 sig figs. I mean, technically this, has 1 sig fig. I'm going to go with 3. I'm just going to pretend that maybe they thought this was 3 sig figs. I don't know. I don't really care about sig figs, but if you want, ask your teacher or professor if they care. But I'm just going to say 1.28 times 10 to the 5. And that's grams of your carbon dioxide. So that's the mass that was produced. A lot of carbon dioxide that was released into the air when you drove this 500-mile trip. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all that it is, guys. All right? So hopefully this helped. This one was a long one, mainly because we, they rocked us with all the stuff that we learned in the past. Density, conversions, percent mass formula, but nothing that we can't tackle, okay? So keep working with these questions and let me know if this helped you, all right? Subscribe to the channel if you would like to, and I'll see you guys all in the next lesson. Hopefully, fingers crossed, all right? Have an awesome day and, good luck on your tests and quizzes. I'll see you later. Bye.